Hey, Sparrow, you got a hit right there.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome into another episode of Capturing the Games, the Game Within the Game podcast featuring me, your host, Desmond Jones, and my man's Juwan Polo Man Stewart. Today, we got another episode that's about to drop today. We have the assistant basketball coach over at Kyoto Hannaryz. His name is Chris. Chris, man, what's going on? How you doing today, man?
How you doing, boys? And you didn't mess up that name, so good job.
That's what
It's early though. It's early. It's early. Great. It's early. It's early. It is early. Don't get his head too hyped. It's early right now. It's early.
Look, everyone knows I got a problem with pronouncing people's names. You know,
yeah, we know.
My fault. I've been doing. I can't even say I've been doing good. I'm probably like 2 for 5, 2 for 6. There's some names I butchered.
You might want to go up high on that number. You might be like,
I need to go higher.
Yeah, it's all about winning today, though. He's won today.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I mean, I guess you can start somewhere. I'll give you that.
I just need a start. That's all.
But no, I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you for hopping on. For those who don't know, Chris is over in Japan right now, and he's rocking with us. It's 9 a.m. his time at the time that we're recording this. So
they're a whole nother day ahead of us, people. So that means he's ahead of the game.
Facts.
All that means. That's all you need to know. He ahead of the game.
Yeah, but Chris, can you go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about yourself, man?
Yeah. I from Vegas originally. Played college ball at Rhode Island. Transferred to Vermont the last 2 years. Played pro for 9 years overseas. Ended up coaching. Retired because I got an opportunity to coach at George Washington University. Did that for 4 years, and they gave the staff the axe. Couldn't, so I had to find somewhere new to go. Couldn't land a good situation in the States. Did a sales job for a year. Hated my life, and got the opportunity to get back into coaching. One of my ex-teammates just got the head job at Kyoto. Where I played in the league for 7 years, something like that, 7 years. And so we took the opportunity to go ahead and, the pandemic stuff was going on in the States. It was rough. So we kind of just like, screw it. Let's kind of get out of here for a little bit. We came over here and we're at year 2 now.
That's dope. So let's get into the
a lot of unpack there.
Yeah, let's get into the Kyoto, the team. Like, how does it feel to be coaching overseas, for one? I mean, let's start there first before we transition more into game things. But go ahead.
It's fun. The reason I played out here for so long is Japan's a really cool country. The league is a lot more professional than some of the stuff you'll see in Europe. And it's real popular. A lot of players are starting to want to get over here because of that kind of stuff. But talent-wise, I'm not going to sit there and try to front like it's a lot better than when I played. Like they put a lot of money into getting more talent out here, and so it's a fun league to play in, coach in, and it's just like there's good people out here. So it's a lot of fun to be out here in this country with these people and stuff like that. It's a good spot, and the organization is awesome. I played here as a player, and then I'm back here coaching now.
So. Explain. I guess I have some friends that kind of go over to Japan and they say they get treated as if they're celebrities, like because just different cultures and all that. Like they don't see that many people of different ethnicities and all that stuff. So did you experience that when you were over there? Like where you can treat it like a celebrity in some regards?
Yeah, I mean, in general, Japanese people, the Japanese culture, like they love sports.
Really? Okay.
Love sports. So basketball is probably like the lower tier, to be honest. Like baseball is
probably number one. Yeah, right.
Sumo wrestlers are god out here. Soccer is really, really popular, and then there's basketball. And basketball is growing. A lot more people are learning about it, and the younger generation, you're starting to see more. Like it's not set up like in the States. There's no like parks with hoops. There's not a ton of rec centers. Like so, you'll see kids out here like. My kids will play with the other kids at the park, and it's dirt, and they're dribbling a ball, and you shoot it at a light pole. And if you hit the light pole, it's basket. So it's kind of binary. You either hit it or you don't. Like,
right.
But so they're starting to learn. They're starting to enjoy it. And I mean, as a player, I mean, these guys are living the life out here. It's not a rough life for them. You hoop, fans love you, and you relax. And it's basically it's not a rough life being a player overseas.
I get it. So is there also a language barrier as well, or is that you don't get too much of that?
There is, and I was a little naive come here because I never had an issue. Like I was able to pick up a little bit of it as a player, and even now, like I can understand a good amount.
Mm-hmm.
Can't speak for the life of me, but I can understand a good amount. And as a player, everything's set up for success. They have a translator there, but the translator's there for the players. So I kind of came over here like, we're good. The head coach speaks really, really good. Like he speaks English. I got a translator here. I understand a great deal. But then the second you take that safety net and the translators over with the players, translate with the other, so the players are all speaking the same language and are on the same page. As soon as he leaves the room and it's just me on my own, like I all of a sudden they start talking a lot quicker. I'm kind of on the back burner for a little bit trying to catch up. So it's a lot harder than I kind of thought it would be initially.
Gotcha.
Basketball as a language is the easiest part, concept wise. Once they start talking about pick and rolls or the weak side, certain. Once we start talking basketball, I'm good. But any other conversation, all of a sudden, I'm like locked in this, like just trying to catch every word I can to keep up. So it's a challenge, but it's fun.
I get that. That's cool. I was just curious about that because I see, especially like on the sidelines, and you see international games, you like, man, if they really fired up, like if they speak in different languages, I don't know how you gonna be fired up. Like you feel the passion, but you can't. I don't know if the passion is the same on both sides. If it translates the same, you know what I mean?
You don't need to speak the same language to understand anger. Like the game we played yesterday. I know you guys will talk about that. The game we played yesterday, the coach is from Spain, and like I've not seen a coach like that in a long time. Like he's like the old, like he didn't stop cussing. He didn't like, he was like doing like the hammer dance up and down the sideline, chasing the referee. Like he was going nuts. My wife doesn't know like anything about basketball. And like, she came home and she was like, he was intense. Like, like this dude was nuts. So, and coach don't speak Spanish, but he still knew the dude. You know what I mean? Like he was speaking Spanish. I'm over here speaking English. Our coach Japanese. Like three different languages are being shared on that court, and you understand. You know what I mean?
I get it. So
that's crazy.
Let's go ahead and talk about the game. Okay, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. What happened? Like it wasn't good. So what happened? Like let's just talk about what happened. It was a blowout, but what happened?
It was a blowout. It was our first blowout of the year. So we've kept it close. Like it's kind of one of those things, coaching is more than just X's and O's and stuff. It's managing, right? And unfortunately we've had so many injuries, and we've got 4 guys that are out, 3 starters. And so we go into the game on Saturday, because we play back-to-back Saturday night, Sunday afternoons. And our whole offensive system is based off our star player, who he's rarity. Like this dude's going to be 40 this year, and he's still dropping buckets. Like he's top. Wow. He was like number 3 in the league in scoring last year. He's from Chicago. That's
longevity right there.
He's like he's the Tom Brady of the Japanese league.
This dude is a bucket.
What's his name?
David Simon. He's about 4. He's been playing forever, played all over the world. Like he actually went to IUPFW, the Elephants or whatever they are. So he's an Indiana guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Back
that's Fort Wayne, actually. Yeah, and, that's right.
He 3 minutes into the game goes off a guard to big ball screen, and the defensive point guard kind of laid his shoulder and slowed him down, and got his left shoulder all caught up, and he did something. We're gonna find out this afternoon when he gets his MRI. Like he did something, and hopefully it's not long term, but like our entire system is based on him. And so he's out, and credit to our guys, like they stayed in it. We only lost by 1 point on Saturday, but then, come Sunday, they're all gassed. We only had 7 players left. We kept it close. It was a 1 point game at halftime, and they just, we ran out of gas. They just kept running it down our throats. And, it got to the point where it's like, we're doing everything we can, but just, we don't have enough right now. So it's just one of those days. So,
for the most part, and look at the schedule, like, your first game you lost, you won by 4, like everything has been close, right? So, I mean, it makes sense. So I guess, being gassed, that's, losing your best player, that will cause that type of thing.
He's an important, he's a center, and, so we were smaller now, and so we, our 2 losses coming into it were 2 buzzer beaters. So we,
those are tough.
Yeah. It's been an interesting start to the season. Yeah, it's been an emotional roller coaster, I guess, in 3 weeks. So, but that's the fun part. That's why you play. We get to do it again. We got 2 games on Saturday and Sunday against the number 1 team in the league right now. And we're gonna have to get creative.
The Hiroshima Dragonflies, right?
Yep, Hiroshima Dragonflies, and they got. Yeah. They're the problem we're gonna have is they're the biggest team in the league, I think.
So this is when you need your size to try to offset their size. Yeah,
we're gonna do some really inspirational talk to our smaller guards about like getting in there and being physical. We're gonna motivate the hell out of them. So we're gonna go ask them to jump in front of a train for the weekend.
That makes sense. It makes sense. So I guess how else do you prep your team with, especially seeing the injury? Like you kind of caught an injury bug. Like what? It happens throughout the basketball season. I mean, that's even from like pro over in NBA to, you get that bug that just kind of happens, and what do you tell a team to fight through that, to get to that next, I guess, to show that heart, I guess,
And that's, to me as a coach, my philosophy and is that's for right now, all we're coaching. There's, you can't be too naive. We're like, hey, we're going to win it. We're going to try, and we're going to try to put a game plan that's going to help us. They're big and slow. We're going to be quicker and smaller now. So, speed the game up a little bit. Right. Try to balance out their weakness and what strength we will have. But, at the end of the day, there's a little bit of a reality where hey, if we can win, that's great. But we're kind of coaching, it's a 60 game season. So we're going to be coaching for once we're healthy. So going in, it was we're focused on David, one of our other Americans, and like 2 of our Japanese guys that were really, really good. All right, well, now is an opportunity for that 3rd guy, from that same position to get better. The backups back up. So by the time we all get healthy, hopefully that means we're deeper. Those guys who normally weren't playing are getting experience, and they're going to start learning how to play and be dependable. We got some. As a general, we've always been fairly bad rebounding because we were smaller across the board. Well, if they don't kind of make a mental decision to like, all right, I'm just going to have to play more physical and find a way to get those rebounds, we're going to get our butts kicked. So if we can figure that out, by the time, again, once we're healthy, we're going to be a better team. So, that old saying, like, you want to be playing your best basketball in March. Hopefully we're able to kind of set the table for that. Hopefully we're just not hurt until March. So I'm hoping that
right.
Hoping
so
that gets figured out.
How is the playoff format over there? Like, is it like the best teams in the league, or does anyone make it to the playoffs? Like, how is that set up?
It's I'm not gonna speak negative, but I don't love it, but it's because there's 22 teams, I believe, in the top division, and so the top 3, so it's Western and Eastern Conference, top 3 from each division make it. And then the top records, so it's not even, I think it's what baseball or something like does similar, like it's not one wild card for the East or the West. If the West had the 2 better records at the 4 or 5 spot, they'll get the 2 wild cards. So it's not, so you get 2 wild cards, but it doesn't necessarily one for each conference, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So
that definitely makes it tough then.
It is, because like you can sit there and be in great position, be like, hey, we're in the 4, we're right on the cusp. But if you don't have the better record, you're still not making the playoffs, And so obviously you get judged on winning or losing and making the playoffs. And, sometimes that's out of your control. So it's early. We got plenty of time. And obviously the goal is to try to make a run at it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I know, I know during that time that you had your sales job, or before you had your sales job, it was coaching at the George Washington University. What made you want to get into coaching? What inspired you to really want to say, yeah, I want to coach one day?
For me, it was like I had one guy that, I always loved basketball. When I was in high school, I had a stacked high school team. I came off the bench, and we had a dude that he ended up going to Oregon, but like Kansas was on him, and North Carolina was like interested. Like he had all these, like UCLA was on him heavy, and they were good back then. So I came off the bench. I didn't have a ton of recruitment. I had actually verbaled to go to Southern Utah, but I was unsigned, and I ended up playing this Easter tournament, like for unsigned seniors to play. And I ended up like finally getting a chance to play. I ended up killing, and Rhode Island came and called and went on a visit, and I wanted to go there. But come to find out, like I didn't have a academic advisor in high school that kind of like pointed me in the right direction. And so I ended up finding out once I agreed to go to Rhode Island, I didn't have the right math credit to be eligible. I would have been like a Prop 48. And so I had one of our assistant coaches, Mark Artman, was like math, like evil genius. Like the guy was like the smartest guy I've ever met. And basically he helped me find online college, BYU online math like course that got me to the threshold I needed to be. And he sat with me after school for like 9 weeks, every single day after school, and helped me pass this because he wanted me to be able to go there. And like him doing that, just like, at some point in that process of like, coaching, mentoring, being somebody that selflessly helps somebody achieve something they want and be a better version of themselves. Like that's what I want to do. And him and I stayed in contact for years and years after high school, just based off the relationship we built not even during the basketball season, but those spring months. So you always talk about coaches having impacts, and that was, he impacted my life greatly. So
yeah. Do you still keep in contact to this day?
Yeah.
No, some stuff kind of happened with him personally where he wanted to kind of like block off a chapter of his life, and I was kind of in that chapter, so it was kind of like collateral damage. I don't really, it's kind of a personal thing with him, but
I understand.
We made it till I was about 26, 27, so over he came out and saw me when I was in Vermont play basketball for 2 or 3 games. Like we constantly kept in contact, and he was an amazing person. So
well, yeah, definitely be wishing whatever's was happening, wish the best for him. But so wait, hold up. So you went from Vegas, nice warm weather, good weather all the way around, to Rhode Island. What made you want to go all the way out east like that?
Yeah, like Vegas is cool. All right, everyone knows Vegas. You don't have to describe Vegas. You can image Vegas. But like, I went out to on my visit. It was like the first week of May, and like it hooked me. Like they knew exactly when to do a visit. Like there was no humidity. Like the beach is right there. So I'm on my visit. I'm going to the beach. Like it's like super nice. They always take you out and take care of them. Seeing all the girls, in May, like they're all dressed how you would be in May, and the weather gets nice.
Yeah.
Like I was sold in like the first 2 hours. I'm like, yeah, this is where I'm going. And once I went out east, not to sound like a nerd or something like that, but like there was trees, there was like seasons like fall and all that stuff, and I was like, I'm just used to like sand and hot. Like it was nice.
No.
So I ended up just staying out there. I liked it out there. So
so if you had to pick one place to live, like where you like just to stay completely? You going back home to Vegas, or you going like east or somewhere else?
I mean, as you can tell, the fact I'm in Japan, I still haven't figured out that spot. So like, I'm still looking for it. But I won't move back to Vegas. Like I did Vegas. I'm outside of just hanging out at a casino. Like there's not. I mean, unless you're gonna go like hike in the desert, I'm not gonna do that. Like there's nothing else to do out there. So I did Vegas my first 17 years. So I'm all set.
Now, see, what I want to point out here, this is a great segment for people in the world that say like, oh, you know, like Desmond, we've probably heard this multiple times about people say stuff about their cities. Like people always say about Fort Wayne, I don't want to live here. I want to go to a big city. So people from big cities say the same thing about their city than everybody else does. So just point this out to everybody as a disclaimer that it doesn't matter where you live. It's just if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Then that's just what it is. So
100%.
Thank you. Thank you for proving the point for me.
I mean, I'm glad you're repping Fort Wayne. You're probably the only guy doing that, but
you know, hey, I love it here. Like it's cool. It's an in-between city. Like it's not a too big of a city, and it's not a too small of a city. It's that in between. It's okay, but I don't want to be in the big city. That's the only thing. That's my only beef with Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
Look, so many people know, so I'm from South Holland, so it's a suburb of Chicago. So I kind of grew up in a big city in a kind of way. And, you know, I came to Fort Wayne roughly about 11 years ago at this point, and I haven't looked back. I mean, I love parts in Chicago, but I'm cool where I'm at. Like it takes me about 15, 20 minutes to get wherever I want. I don't miss the traffic. I don't like the cost of living is great. It's real chill, real low key.
It's the craziest thing, man. It doesn't matter where you're from, you know, where you grew up or whatever. Soon it's like the threshold for getting old, like becoming like an old head. Like the second you're like, hey, I can get from where I need to with no traffic, like it's like you're an ultimate old head. You base your life decisions on how long you're in traffic. Like that's how painful it is to you in life. Like DC was the worst. Like I lived
DC is bad.
9 miles. 9 miles. Yeah. It took me sometimes like almost 2 hours to get home. I could have rode a bike there quicker.
Between DC and Atlanta and Dallas, those are the places that I know traffic are like super crazy. It takes you double the time to get home. GPS don't even know what to do. Look, it just say to be determined. Still calculating.
Oh yeah. Well, Boston's bad too. Boston's horrible. Yeah,
Boston's rough. Yeah.
And they got roads that like sit on top of each other. Like I ain't never seen nothing like that in my life. Like I said, these roads, I don't even know how that's even a lane. Like that's not possible in Boston. I said, I'm sorry, that's crazy. You driving in tunnels underwater and stuff. Like the GPS stopped working at one point. I said, yo, I can't even, where am I even at? They said, oh, we underwater. I said, oh, okay. All right, cool. I don't want to drown today. That's all I'm saying. Like I'm good.
Look, that happens, especially when you're taking the Lower Wacker Drive in Chicago. Like you just like to make that left, and the next thing you know, you just got no signal. You just go
done.
You come out, it's like 3-4 exits down there too, and you definitely miss it. I can't tell how many people miss like their exit because they mess around with Lower Wacker. But Philly's another one of those cities too, where cities like where they park in the middle of the street. And they park like in both directions, not just like one side, but they literally park in the middle of the street. And that blew my mind. I was like, this dude just parking in the middle of the street.
I don't know if I've seen that yet.
Sure, I've seen that. They parked in the middle of the street, and like it's both ways. Like it don't matter. I'm like, how do y'all know? Like the car in front of you. Like, what if y'all meet in the middle of the car crash? Like, I don't know. I was tripped out about that. But man, Chris, can you tell us like how did you end up overseas playing, man? So what were some of the high moments for you playing overseas, and what were some of the low moments for you playing overseas?
I could have a whole show just on some crazy stories, but
man, go for it, man.
I want to hear this. Look, I need to hear this.
So I got into it. I was fortunate. My senior year, I had like a really, really good year. I was like second in the nation in rebounding. With all honesty, should have got first. I'm gonna tell that story till I die, but had an ankle injury, was hurting, all that stuff, whatever. But had a good year. Being 6'11", really good rebounder. I was able to put that on a resume, get a job. And first year, I went to camp with the Hornets, and there's not a large market for unathletic white guys in in the NBA. So I didn't make it. But I ended up in Europe. Some highs, some lows. Spain. I went to Spain. Spain was amazing, awesome country, good people. Still crazy to me that like basketball take a backseat in countries. Like we used to have to like rush off of practice because handball practice was starting. And for me,
handball legit.
Dude, like it was like, hey, you got to be off there starting. I'm like, I was like, but from the States, because I'd never been to Europe,
right.
Like this isn't handball. You need like one big red ball. You bounce it against the wall, like like elementary school handball. And these dudes are out here playing some intense like UFC handball stuff.
Oh yeah.
And first month over, it like blew my mind. And then I ended up in Mexico, which I don't even want a vacation in Mexico again. If I never step foot in Mexico again, I'll be a happy man. Like no rules apply in that country. And I was just
man. Wait, why?
Like, here you go. Here's your segue. You want a crazy story? Here you go.
Yeah, I need to hear it.
Ultimate crazy. So I was playing for a team, Aguas Calientes Panteras.
Okay. Middle
of nowhere, Mexico.
Okay.
And so we're in there. We're not a great team. And we're losing by like 20 in this game. This is probably my like 5th game there. And all of a sudden the coach, who doesn't really speak a whole lot of English, and my Spanish was not great. There's this one brother, and I can't remember his name anymore. But he played, and his brother was on the team, and he didn't. His brother's name was Miguel. Miguel did not play. Miguel was on the team for one thing. When you're down by 20, the coach figured out, and he never told me this, but I just started to realize a pattern. When you're down by, if you can get the game canceled, it doesn't count as a loss. So we're down by 20. All of a sudden, Miguel, he comes in the game. We didn't last 2 possessions. Miguel starts a brawl.
Hey, he the enforcer. We call that enforcers.
No, yeah, it's exactly what Miguel was. Miguel was an enforcer. So brawl ends the game. We're about a week later. We're down by like 20 something again. Miguel, you're in. Here we go. So at that point, and this time we're on an away game, and so full out like the crowd's coming down, like bottles of Corona like are being thrown. Like I got my butt whooped, like straight up. Like we're on the bus ride home and milking like ice packs on my ribs, kind of stuff. Like got my butt whooped, and so we have longest bus ride home ever. Like I'm just like laying there like this, like. So we got a game like a couple days later. I don't know. It happened so quickly. First quarter, we're down like 18. Miguel, I'm like, come on.
That's what you got. Hey, coach, no, put him down. Sit down.
And the amount of mayhem that happened afterwards, like, God. I'm still beat up and bruised from the last one. Like, and there was this dude from Chicago, actually, they're down, like he was on the other team. He was on the other team. So we sat on these like 2x4 benches during the game. He ripped one of the 2x4s off because again, this time we're at home, but the crowd comes down. Like the Mexican SWAT team, like they have the AKs and ski masks. They come into the gym to like disperse the fighting. The dude from Chicago on the other team ripped off one of the 2x. He's in the corner just taking dudes out that come near him. Good old Miguel. He went after the dude in the corner. He broke his elbow, so he's on a stretcher. And me and one of the other Americans on our team, literally, we sat in the corner and like tried to avoid participating.
Oh my God!
Next day, I get me and the guy who's a point guard. We get called in the office and we get cut for not being team players. And I was like, hey man, give me my last check. I'm cool. I'm out of here. Like I'm all set with that. And
Oh,
that was I don't ever want to go to Mexico again, man. That was an experience and a half there. So
hey, Desert, they had Malice in the Palaces every week.
Every day. What you mean?
You're not going to get a good game. If you're not going to get a good close game, you're going to get some action somewhere.
Oh man.
So
that is funny.
Yeah. So after that, I went to Serbia. Yeah, or Bosnia. We played in the Adriatic where we played Serbia, Slovenia, all that stuff. And played a lot of the big teams, Olympiacos, all those guys. Bosnia was another trip, not as violent, but like, they're smoking in the games. Like the arena's like crazy, crazy smoky. Guys are like, our starting center would have like a cigarette in the shower room at halftime. Like, just a different world in different countries, man. It's fun learning all that stuff and being a part of it, but just like crazy at the same time.
Oh man, hey.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on this Mexico part, man.
There's this. I still got PTSD from it. It's been like 10 years.
He had to worry about getting buckets and then wait, please God, we down by 20. Oh, we gotta fight. Oh man.
Yeah, I'll never forget all that one. Miguel, come on. Not tonight.
Wait. Do you ever get scared or nervous when you hear the name Miguel? Does it just instantly take you back to Mexico?
It's like a random flinch. Like, where is he? No, no, but like that is something I'm never gonna forget.
Oh,
so. But yeah, that was a fun chapter of my life. It turns into such a long, drawn out story too. Like my wife's sister got married in Mexico, and it's like, you guys coming? I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like I'm not coming.
Why you not coming? Because I'm not trying to fight nobody. That's the first thing. I'm thinking of fighting.
It's all they do.
Fight. I'm gonna have to fight you. Like somebody's gonna get fun at your wedding. Because if I see Miguel or somebody named Miguel, I'm fighting him. Period. That's just what it's gonna be.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I told you I had some crazy ones for you. So
no, that's awesome.
I could only imagine though, somebody hitting somebody with a right hook because they down by 20 though. That's all I'm saying. You'd be like, hey man, what you say? Boom! Oh, wait, this ain't this. I didn't sign up. I just came to play basketball, man.
Yeah, the first one was kind of like a what's going on here. By the third one, it was such a like it's about to go down. Like, all right, here we go, coming out of the timeout. You guys don't even know what's happening. Here we go.
So I guess let me ask you, do you remember what did Miguel do? Did he just go up and push somebody, or he just went off and just cold cocked the dude in the face?
Actually, the last one I remember. I don't remember the first two. The last one I remember exactly what happened, just because like obviously the coach didn't draw up like here's how you're gonna take this guy out. Like, but this poor kid like chose the wrong path. They went into a floppy action, like where the guard will be underneath the basket and he can go the 4 and the 5 are on the blocks. And he can go either way.
Right.
This poor kid, because I was sitting there, I saw it happen. He could have gone off the big man, and Miguel would have had to chase him and found another moment. But the dude fake coming off the big came back across Miguel.
Oh, gee.
And Miguel hit him with that
the
shiver
elbow
with his elbow, laid the kid right out. I was like, all this kid had to do was go off that left side the first time, he would have been fine. Had to come back across the middle.
Man. Was Miguel a big dude, or was he a guard, or was he a center?
He was like a 6'7" guard.
Oh man.
He was like a
lanky, big.
Oh man.
Oh man! All right. Before we end up talking about Miguel for the rest of the show,
I was just,
the subject here.
Hey man.
No, but look, Chris, thank you for sharing that story. So I think that's by far the funniest story we've heard so far on a podcast. For sure.
Well, fighting and smoking, that's new, because that's new. That's new to me. That's new. I can only imagine.
For real.
Well, if you had asthma or something, especially in Serbia, I'd be like, man, I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Yeah,
what's wrong with him?
I couldn't believe it was so foggy in there. I was like, oh, did you guys have like a smoke show to start off?
I can't see the rim.
Indoor fireworks.
Y'all need to defog this mug. I can't see.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Eastern Europe. I'm hoping it's been better since I was there, but didn't miss that one. So I ended up in Japan, and it was such a breath of fresh air. Like, it was professional. Money showed up on time. Like, the league was getting better every year. I was like, yeah, I'm if I can re-sign, stay out here, I will. And I just kept doing it.
Okay, so you said money didn't show up on time. Were there times when you didn't get paid?
Yeah, and I mean, anybody overseas is going to have that. Like, I don't care who you are, you've experienced it, you know. And so when I was in Bosnia, we were on a losing streak, and literally the owner just came in and was like, "Hey, you guys haven't won," because in Europe you only play one a week. You know, you don't do any of the extra stuff. You might have a cup game here or there, but I don't think we might have only won one time of that month, or maybe didn't even win the whole month. Owner literally, and this owner, he didn't come in all the time. He walked in, he was like, "You guys didn't win this month, so you're not getting paid this month." And he turned around and left. And we and we didn't get paid that month. You know, so it was kind of like a kick right after, you know, you're already down. But I mean, everybody in Europe has those stories where they didn't get paid, or they left early and they were like, "Yeah, we'll send the money," and they didn't send the money, or you get hurt and they void contracts, and it's kind of the way it operates out there. And that's why a ton of people like going out to like Japan right now. Like, it's professional, you get your money, like and just getting rid of that stress alone is so tempting to players over here, because it's just the last thing you want to deal with. Is like, oh, here's another month where I'm having money issues.
Oh yeah, that's no, don't play with my money. I'm gonna need you to run that check, player. I'm gonna need that. You joking? Because you're gonna run that money. I'm gonna need that
right now.
So.
I need interest. I need the interest on that one, because you missed. You missed last week.
We pulling the whole Stewie. Where's my money, Brian? Where's my money at?
Where's my money, man?
It was there. I mean, there's highs and really cool experience about playing overseas, and there's some headaches, and the headaches are stuff that should not even be a thing. But and anybody I mean, even some of these agents, I mean, you guys know agents, obviously. I mean, how many times are they having to get involved because money's not on time, or something's going on where they were being funny with the contract? Like, it's just kind of, you know, I'm not saying it doesn't happen over in like the Asian countries, but in Europe, it's like, it's known for it. You know, there's a lot of countries that are known for it.
Well, I mean, it even happened at my job too one time, so I can't even really say much. You know, they came up a little short. They said, "Oh, we had a miscalculation." That's not my problem. Like, that auto draft better go to where it need to go. Like, y'all playing. We'll get you on the next one. No. Y'all short this week. I don't want 2 more weeks. That's y'all late.
We're gonna sit down and we're gonna figure this thing out now.
Yeah, right. You better figure out payroll. No, we're not gonna play this game. No. So yeah, I get it. It's definitely, that would make you rethink some things for sure. But hopefully, you got a couple dollars saved up that, you know, if you do ever have a situation like that, you could say, at least I can make it past this day. Because if not, Lord Jesus, be struggling in a whole other country. No, I'm okay.
Yeah, and that's just kind of the way it is over there. And it's, I mean, guys get compensated for. I mean, there's definitely low leagues. There's a lot of leagues where guys get compensated, so they're doing all right.
Makes sense.
Gotcha. How'd you meet your wife?
At a at a bar. Literally, it's kind of crazy. Like, my boys, we were doing like a bar crawl, and I was living in Boston.
Good old Boston.
The night before I left, the good old Boston. The night before I left for my second year in Japan, and her friend was like seeing my friend. And so, like, they just happened to be, her friend wanted to come see my buddy, and she just happened to be with her that night. And so we got to talking, and the next day I left for Japan. And so I ended up finding her on Facebook. We ended up Skyping, all this stuff. And next thing you know, we're like dating. And we ended up getting married a year later. So, like, we didn't even know each other that long. and we've been married 11 years now.
Congratulations. He was real smooth with it, Desmond. That's what I'm hearing. He was smooth. He was real smooth with it. At the bar, he was smooth with it. I'm trying to look. He was smooth. Found her on Facebook, slid in the DMs, you know what I'm saying?
I seem like a real suave guy over the phone. So
hey,
I suckered her.
But congratulations on 11 years.
Yeah,
well,
for real.
That's huge.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so
I'm just trying to join the club. I'm trying to join the club. I got 2 married people on this call right here. I'm trying to join the club one day. I'm just one day.
It's today, not that day.
No, it ain't that day.
Look, I'm gonna look up Juwan and be like, "Yo, bro, I'm getting married." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah. You for real gonna say that too? Because right now, nah, ain't no prospects. Ain't no prospects.
I got a question for you, but I'm gonna ask it offline. I ain't gonna put it on the air like that. But what? So Chris, what kind of advice that you can give to athletes? Like, you ain't seen it all, and it's not like you ain't been through it all. You've been through a lot of different countries, a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different fights with Miguel. What kind of what kind of advice could you give to athletes out here that's trying to pursue an overseas career?
I mean, a lot of them, if you're gonna make it, it's easy. An agent's gonna hit you up, he's gonna find you a job, right? Then there's other guys. Like there's a guy who the advice would be relentless. So I had a player coach at George Washington. He was a walk-on, Matt Hart. Could not tell him he wasn't gonna make it. Like literally, we there's times we tried. You couldn't tell him he wasn't going to make it. He was like just one of those driven type. Like, never met a kid more committed than him. He woke up on his own 5:30 in the morning, was in the gym working. He had his daily routine every single day.
That's
like real. He hands down one of the best shooters I've ever seen in my life. Like, but he's 6 foot, skinny point guard. Not, he's actually pretty athletic, but he's, a little skinny point guard and he can shoot, but that was it. So he's 4 years out. He's bounced around like the Canadian League, which is kind of really low level. He did Ireland, I think, for a little bit last year. Didn't work out. But the kid is relentless. He was hitting agents. He was hitting teams up on his own. Sending video. Like, the kid ended up putting an Instagram together, Matt Hart Skills, plug there for him. Like within like 6, because he is like an insane shooter, insane ball handler. Like he went from having nothing to like 50,000 followers on Instagram. And just this year he ended up signing with second division team in Serbia, which is solid basketball. Like, if you want to get there, just be relentless. Like, don't let someone tell you. Same as any other, industry out there. There's going to be the ones that you get there, you get a job, you put a resume together, and then there's going to be the guys that have to go uphill a little bit. And if you want to do it, just be relentless.
Yeah,
I guess also on top of that is don't be afraid to grind. Sometimes you're going to be in playing in the PBL or some kind of like really crap league. Like, playing it, be professional, get your stats, get your video that you need, and then start plugging yourself. Try to find a better one and just climb the ladder. You see a lot of these guys that played in Europe for long times, and they started in England or they started in, Switzerland. Their lower leagues, you're not getting paid a ton of money, but you did your time, you got your stats, and you slowly moved up the ladder. And once you make it at a high level, you'll get a job wherever you want. So,
yeah, man, I think that advice can be applied to
a lot
anywhere in life. Yeah, man,
absolutely.
Even myself, I'm like, yo, I just gotta be relentless. Gotta keep grinding.
Yeah, there's no shame in having it. I mean, again, all aspects of life. There's no shame in starting at the bottom. That's how you get better once you make it to the top, is by learning the bottom.
That's a bar. That's a bar. This is where I insert the DJ air horn. There
you
go. But, so I guess. Oh, go ahead.
No, go
Go ahead.
ahead. Go ahead,
Oh, well,
co-host.
Oh,
Do it.
okay. Look, all right then. Let me go ahead and sneak on in here. No, I'm just like, so looking at the games from like overseas wise to like NBA to the other big professional leagues, what differences do you see and what similarities do you see between the two games, and what don't you like between the two games, if that makes sense?
I mean, NBA is the most unique thing out there, period.
Okay.
NBA is not, I don't want to say not necessarily basketball, but it's like it's the best talent. It's also a unique product because the game is completely set up to isolate and showcase that individual talent. So you see concepts, but you don't see, like in Europe, you still see those flex actions. You still see, it's like traditional basketball and
Right.
creative ways of applying new versions of traditional basketball. So much so that you even see European concepts leaked into the NBA, just with their own little
Twists.
unique twist to it. And so NBA is always going to be the best part because you're going to have the best talent, and they do an amazing job of showcasing that. Europe is still good. Asia is getting better, but you're going to have. It's hard to explain. Like you have like the Asian product. I feel like they're trying to showcase a product like NBA just without the talent. They want to showcase skills. They want it high flying, entertaining. Europe, you have this grind mentality. You are going to have tons of practices. You are going to have it's a job, 2 days every day, but you are going to have really fun basketball. Anybody who's a young coach or a young player and you want to see really, really good basketball outside of like high level D1 basketball, like go watch Europe. You can go watch like Zalgiris. You can watch any of the ACB teams.
Barcelona's and all that type stuff.
All those guys. Couple teams in Germany are like you see some really, really good basketball. So and a lot of the stuff comes out of that.
Good.
Yeah. What's some things that you had to learn as a head coach or being an assistant coach that you may have not known beforehand?
I mean, anything on this side of the aisle, as a player, you're always thinking as a player, like, why am I not playing? Why is this? Why is that? Why are we doing this? Any of that stuff as a player where you just think it's a waste of time. And here you are as a coach, we sit there for 2 hours sometimes trying to plan practice because we're not getting this or getting that, like, for example, like, we put up a plan where we run kind of a unique defense where we do it. It's called peel switch. It's becoming popular in Europe, but it makes a ton of sense. It's completely different than everything you've been taught in the States playing basketball, but makes sense for us. So we run that. And one of our players just doesn't get it. Like he's having a hard time with it. And so we've been doing like breakdown stuff, for a 30-year-old who's been a professional for a ton of years. It's like, why would we be doing this? And it's like, well, from your perspective as a player, and I get it, like, God, we're doing this drill again. Like, let's just do this or that. And for us as a coach, it's like, if we don't get over this hurdle, this is going to be a huge hole that costs us games for throughout the season. So you got to look at the more finite details that are a little more tedious. And from a coach now, like we see it because like when we're cutting film or we're talking about game plans, it's like, yo, this keeps happening.
Right.
As a player, it's like, why are we still doing this? Because you won't change. We see the connection. Whereas a player, it's just like, God, let's just like, can we shoot? Can we do this? And it's, you got to be a little more annoying as a coach. And I see that now because it's like, it makes from the sidelines, the weekend warrior, like it makes sense. Like, hey, it should be easy to call this coverage out, even though it's happening like that. It should be easy, but for some reason it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So, can we teach it a different way? Sure, we're going to try that. Can we communicate a different way? Sure, we're going to try that. But at the end of the day, where we're at right now is just drill the hell out of it until we get it. Take the thinking out and just make it muscle memory at this point. So you just got to be a lot more annoying, to say the least.
No, I mean, look, go ahead.
No. I was just saying. So now you see why your coaches probably were so annoying to you, probably when you were playing.
Yeah.
So then, like it all makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny now, and I don't doubt it with them. Like, you as a person, you should have that like recognition. Like, God, I'm annoying the hell out of this guy right now. But it's like, if I don't say it again, or a coach tells me, "Hey, go tell him," I was like we just talked about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just got to bug the hell out of him. Like this until we get past this. It's kind of like my job, just to be that little dude on your shoulder, just like, get away from me. But
right.
Hey, I'm just a minute of the mentality of whatever it takes, man. If it takes you being annoying, so be it. They'll be better for it at the end of the day.
yeah, I mean, they what they don't realize for the rest of the year. You're right. Once you get this, I'll stop. But by next week, I'm going to be annoying with something else. Like that's just my job. You're not going to get me to stop doing that. Right. We're on ball screens this week. It'll be rebounding next week. Like it's right. So it's just our job is just to get you to most of the time get out of your own way to be the best version of yourself.
Right.
A lot of times it's no outside factor. It's usually that person for some reason.
Super facts. Juwan, you got anything else or no? Okay. So Chris, man, do you got anything else that you would like to share before we transition into our next segment?
No, man. I mean, if you guys don't have one here, nothing. Just I'm out of Miguel story, so I got nothing else.
Good old Miguel. Everyone needed Miguel on their team.
No, they don't. No.
You don't need no. We don't need another Miguel.
Look, I picture Miguel as that ride or die type person. He just, just there to do whatever is necessary to get a game canceled. But he's just there. He's just there to, either back up his team. Y'all getting his ass bust. He gonna bust someone physically. That's all.
Great team player. So
is that what we calling that?
Positive spin, man. I believe in that. We'll put a positive spin on it to end the show.
All right, cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, man. With that being said, we will go ahead and transition into our rapid fire segment where we ask a little fun stuff. We call it the game within a game. So my question for you is, are you ready to play?
Let's do it.
All right. So the very first question. I already got a sense of which way you're gonna go based off when I said it earlier, but I'm gonna ask anyways. So, chocolate chip cookies or oatmeal raisin?
Chocolate chip cookie. Nobody, whoever does oatmeal raisin, just leave.
Just leave. That's 9-4, Desmond. Just letting you know that.
I know.
And that means you gotta leave. You gotta leave because you like oatmeal raisin.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I like oatmeal raisin.
All right, so look, Chris, this is my thing. So
you added this question just in hopes and prayers that you're gonna get some respect for the oatmeal raisin group, and it's just not paying it out.
Nope. It hasn't been. Nope. You are 100% right. It hasn't been paying off.
Nope.
And so it's bad to the point where I've cheated on oatmeal raisin cookies with chocolate chip. Like if I go to the store, I have the option to really pick the oatmeal raisin cookies. I'll just choose the chocolate chips. I don't even know.
You kind of like really towards them.
Yeah. I kind of
do. Shame.
That's the crazy part.
That is the crazy part.
Come to the right side here, man. Chocolate chips way better.
Exactly. All right, your next question. TV shows or movies?
Movies.
Favorite top 5 actors or actresses?
Oh God. Denzel.
I stand by that.
Yeah, Denzel. I can watch any movie with him in it. Jeez. I'm gonna have to pass. I don't know. I don't base a ton of it off.
So
that.
just Denzel is just that's
I'm trying to think of like other ones like, hey, he's in it, like I'll watch it. Like really like literally all his movies are.
So what's your favorite Denzel movie?
Man on Fire.
Really?
Okay. I mean, I just love that movie.
Okay.
That's a solid choice.
No,
I mean, some people say Training Day, other people say Man on Fire. Some people go Book of Eli. You know, that's true.
Name a bad one he's done. Exactly.
Yeah, he don't miss.
Morgan Freeman's another one I really like, and
Morgan been old. Seem like forever.
He is old.
He's been old forever. He's just been old forever. Like I've never seen him I've never seen a young version of him in nothing.
Him and Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
He's been old.
Just been old forever.
Like The Fugitive back in the day. He was in his 40s and he looked like he was 60.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
That's true. Facts. That is funny.
I think about the Men in Black. He was still old.
Yeah, they all been old.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, good choices. Speaking of the NBA, going back to the NBA for a little bit, who would be your top 5 in the NBA? Like either your favorites or just people that you love to watch.
See, even earlier you said this, and this is tough for me.
And it can be all time, by the way. It don't have to be just current
thank
players.
God. That makes it a lot easier.
He said, "Thank God."
Because I mean, like some of the dudes, like obviously right now, like I like watching Giannis, Dame, Steph, KD, but like all time. I mean, I grew up to what I think is like best time in basketball. I mean, Hakeem was a monster, like literally, and it's sad to me right now. Off topic, I'll bring guys up and I'll be like, hey, you know, Hakeem, like whenever I'd like work with like younger kids, like at GW, like who's Hakeem? Like go get a YouTube, get over. Like if you want to learn good footwork, like he was second to none. Like his footwork was insane for a big man. Hakeem, Shaq, Jordan, obviously, loved Penny.
Lil Penny.
Lil Penny and Penny. Yeah, all those dudes. KG. I mean, he was nuts, but KG was a special type of nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I could go on, man. I just love basketball.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big Kobe guy, so I mean that's my.
I mean, yeah, I didn't mention Kobe. I didn't even mention Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe. that's my you know, that why I started liking basketball is because of Kobe. Like that was just what it was.
You know, I gained more respect for Kobe after he retired. When he started doing like the detail and he I don't want to even say like motivational speaking, but like he did a lot more like interview stuff where he kind of went into his philosophies and his thinking on things. And he was so deep with his process.
Oh yeah, he definitely was.
I gained a ton of respect for him like after the fact. Yeah. Just because like the amount of thought and details that he thought about and you know equated into his decision making on even the small, like on sleep, like the smallest processes of your daily, like insane.
He took stuff very personal while he was playing, and then I mean after the fact, I mean you saw it come kind of. He opened up the lens to say, okay, well this is why I was this way all this time.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You open it, you're like,
like
okay,
it makes sense.
All right,
it makes sense.
I'm good with why you did that. Then.
So yeah, it's cool. All right, so let's see here, VC or T-Mac?
Oh boy, I'm gonna go with VC.
Ooh.
I mean, T-Mac was a monster, but like VC,
the human
highlight reel, I mean, changed as a player over 21 seasons. Is that what it was? 22?
Yeah.
You know, he went from like this highlight athletic dunker to a sharpshooter. You know, he was literally just a corner three guy kind of a thing. And the last couple of years, he was really there just for leadership stuff. And he did an amazing job with that as well. Yeah. Like he just evolved as a player. And, you know, T-Mac probably would have been fun to see him as he aged. Unfortunately, that just didn't get to happen.
Right.
So.
Yeah. All right, let me ask this other one. So, as you talked about Hakeem, would you rather take Hakeem, Tim Duncan, or KG?
Well, I thought one more in there. Carmelo.
That didn't help. No Carmelo.
Okay.
I'd go Hakeem. I'd go Hakeem.
Look, the mailman, you know,
mailman
the mail out here. Hey, right. No, that didn't help you. That didn't help much. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
No, that didn't muddy the water like you thought it did. No, I'm gonna go Hakeem.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of another
offensive. He was a monster.
I'm trying to think of another big man that I could just say like that would have threw you off a little bit, or maybe made you think about it a little bit.
He would like a big you could have said Shaq, but like I watched those finals and he kept Shaq in a blender for 4 games. Like Shaq was just hopping around, like he literally worked Shaq.
Okay. What about Akeem? I mean, not Akeem. Kareem. Does that muddy the waters anymore?
I
mean, the Skyhook was insane.
Yeah, Skyhook, dude's the all-time leading scorer at least for another 2 years. I mean, I'll go with Hakeem or Kareem at that point if you're going to throw him in there.
Okay.
I'll take a guy that's going to give me 36,000 points or 38 or whatever it is.
Super facts. All right, so if you can go pro in any other sport other than basketball, what would it be?
Golf.
The second person that said golf. That's the second person that said that. That's the second person that said that.
It's a lot of fun, it's relaxing, all that stuff. But like for me, like I fell in love with golf after college. Like, and it's like a love-hate relationship. Mm-hmm. Like it's not so like, hey, I got really good at basketball, so I kept playing and it took me places. Right. So it's that like competitive stuff, like you like winning, you like playing, you like getting better, you like seeing that process. Right. I've been playing golf now for 14 years. Right. And it still blows my mind how much I suck at it. and it's almost like this, I am going to dominate this at some point and I'm not going to quit. So like, it's just like this addiction where it's like, and I think that's for everybody. Like it's such a hard freaking sport to be good at that. And you could be really, really good and just randomly have this like just crap day. And so, golf hooked me,
man. I can see it.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys play at all?
I just started playing, like a dabble in it. I got to get my clubs right. So, you know, I can't just be going out there with just all irons. You know, I got to get a driver and, you know, some woods. So, you know, I played a little bit. It is one of those games where you love hate because either you hit it really well or you hit really poorly and your score reflects the very poorly.
And you hate yourself the rest of the day.
Correct. That is
so true. It's I don't know what it is, but it like gets me going. Like I'll go with like my boys and I'll go from like, hey, this is a great time we're spending the day, it's gorgeous out, to I hate you all, nobody talks to me, like I'll drive off, you can walk, like I'll take the cart and screw you, you're doing better than me. So it's just one of those games, man.
For sure. Okay, so what was your favorite sports moment that you have ever seen or witnessed?
Actually, you know what it'll be? It's from college, just because where I went. When the Red Sox won the ALCS against the Yankees, because I went to school in Vermont and it's Red Sox country there.
Mm-hmm. It is.
The amount of excitement in that area was crazy. Like
Was that
they beat the Yankees. They were down 3-0. They came back and won.
that was the
4-3.
Kurt Schilling? Was that the Kurt Schilling bloody sock era?
I think that was that. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think he like pitched game 7 or something like that. And like the amount of insanity in New England during that time was it was fun to see. It got weird. Like, you know, in college Vermont, like they go back and they tied up 3-3 and a bunch of the kids go out in like the common area and freaking have like turned into a riot somehow. I don't know how you get excited and have a riot, but they're like knocking down light posts and like burning trash cans. But like, it was like a party for a whole week. It was crazy.
Was that the first time they won in like 100 years?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
and
that playoff
fun.
was crazy. Yeah.
We had a better one for you, but that was a fun one to be a part of.
No, look, we heard a lot of good ones. So I mean, the fact that you mentioned baseball, I think I give you kudos for that because not a lot of people's gonna mention baseball for one of their favorite sports moments they seen it with. So
that was just crazy. The school like put out a memo. They were like, guys, like we understand celebrating, but like this can't be a nightly thing where you're just you're just going out like wrecking stuff, you know?
Right.
So
okay. All right. So if you could be a hype man for any artist, who would it be?
talking about like music artists?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I don't even know, man. Jesus. Because they aren't they all already hype men on their own?
True, but I mean, you know, so
you could be on stage with them, you know, like before they come out, like, hey, you know, you give it up for my man, blah blah blah, whoever, you know.
Yeah, who you want to be on stage with for the one time?
You know, for the one time, I'd probably have to go with Jay-Z. Just be up there with him.
Young Ho.
I Jay-Z for you, dude's. What is he? 50 now? 52, something like that. He's still putting out freaking
legendary.
Yeah, something else, man. He's something else. I'd say Drake, but I can't be a part of that life. My wife would.
Drake.
My wife would cut me off on that one.
Oh man. All right. So if you get a chance to take over any organization, who would you choose? Now, this organization can be whoever you want. It could be Chase Bank because you just want all their money. It could be Dallas Cowboys. It could be, you know, or Red Cross. It can be whoever you want. You get a chance to take over or be a part of the organization. Who would you choose?
I'd go with. I'm doing a lot of this Boston stuff. It just happens to be that way, but I do the Boston Celtics. I take over. Like one of these days, I'd love to get to like GM at some point when I get like a little older, because like putting that puzzle together of like, let's what is it going to take to put a championship team together? Like I love as well as coaching and as well as playing, like I love that like puzzle as well. Like would love the opportunity to be like, all right, this guy's got to go, but we're going to need to get these guys because that's how we're going to win a championship. You know, just kind of like masterminding that plan.
Yeah, that's something that like growing up, me and my brother, we always played like either whether it be Madden or like the basketball game at the time, whether it be live or 2K. Yeah, I said live because that was live came before 2K.
Yeah.
So
2K was a crappy game back then.
It
live was way better than 2K back then.
Yeah, it was. And then things changed over time.
But I mean, like imagine right now, like Daryl Morey or Morrissey, whatever, with the Sixers.
Yep.
Right? Gun to your head. What are you going to do with Ben Simmons? Like, I'd love to be in a position like that. Like, hey, who are we going to give up? What am I getting out of this? And is this going to end up blowing back in my face?
Okay, so what would you do with it?
With him? I can't remember right now. Figured you would say that. There was a trade a little while back that was like a proposed trade. I think it was with the Kings back when the Kings wanted him. And the Kings were offering like Buddy Hield and I think Halliburton and like a draft pick or two. And they said no. And honestly, I probably would have taken that because one of their biggest issues are just with the spacing and all that with Ben Simmons, but like you have Embiid, who's he's a new version of an older center. Like he likes to operate from like that elbow and in, kind of attack 1-on-1. If you got Seth Curry, if you got Danny Green, if you got Buddy Hield, like you got a lot of shooters around him. He's going to have a lot more space around him. Halliburton proved in his first year he's going to be a good solid guard for years.
He is.
You get some solid pieces back, plus some draft picks to kind of like sit back, wait and see what I'm going to need for a guy who's basically said, I don't want to be there. And currently you're in a spot where it's like you're forcing him to come. And for me, like from a culture standpoint, even you see like Danny Green, for example, had an interview yesterday where he was like, we're just asking you to come in and be professional. That's, to me, it's got like a little bit of a little jab right there.
Oh yeah, that's a jab to it.
Yeah, that's going to have a little bit, that's going to weigh on the culture to some degree somewhere. Like, do you really want to force this guy to be here? So I would have probably gone with that trade offer. If he's listening, just my 2 cents.
Yeah. The Chris
Mm-hmm.
GM has spoken. Let the record show you has spoken.
But yeah, they're turning dudes down. Like they turn down like CJ McCollum because they want Dame. Like, you're not getting Dame. Like, CJ McCollum's a hell of a player though.
Right.
CJ is a hell of a player.
You want to go and sit and put Embiid next to McCollum? Like, yes, please.
Yeah. I feel like the Sixers want a lot for.
Oh, he's
want a lot
for the world right now.
Yeah, they want a lot.
So we'll see if it bites him in the butt.
It probably will. I'm sure it will.
Yeah,
I'm definitely
sure.
See
Ben just sitting there, just staring at Embiid like, I'm not passing you, man. It's not happening. It's not happening.
I could definitely picture that too.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. It'll be interesting. I'm excited to get to season tips off tomorrow, right? Well, 2 days for you.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
I'll give you all the final scores. You can take it to Vegas. Yeah, 19th, I think, is first game.
Yep. So yeah, it's gonna be a good season. I'm a Bulls fan, so I'm looking forward to see what they put out or how that team comes together.
They could be fun to watch.
Yeah. So Juwan's a Laker fan.
Always been, or recently came over?
Kobe. I said I was a Kobe guy.
True.
I've always been a Kobe guy. So it was, I was actually upset when we got LeBron. I said, I don't want him on my team. I don't want him over. Go back to wherever you came from. I don't want you going back.
He was upset.
I
could vouch for that. He
got a championship. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Now we got Russ. I'm like, I'd rather have Russ. I like Russ. That's my guy. Russ is my guy. You don't think so?
It's not gonna work.
Oh man, he says it's not gonna work. Jeez, man. I'm a Russ fan. You can't do that to me. No.
I love Russ. I mean, for all the negative stuff people say about him, dude plays 1,000% and
all the time.
How are you gonna get mad at a guy that gives you a triple double? But like, he needs the ball in his hand. So does LeBron. AD can give you stuff because he's defensively solid, but if he doesn't have the ball to score, he's not. You're taking away from his talent. Like, I don't know how it's all going to balance out. Like you saw with Houston, like basically what ended up happening was it was Harden, and then because it's Harden's team, and then you had good Russ nights, then you had bad Russ nights because of that. And I think you're just going to have a repeat of that. Because you look at Miami, like it's like, oh, LeBron will take a backseat, let him get off, but LeBron will only take so many L's before he says, all right, I'm hopping back in the driver's seat.
That's true. That's true.
What the Lakers team reminds me of? It reminds me of that time where you had, D Wade and D Rose on the same team at the start of the year, and then like midway through the season, they traded all of them, like traded away like half the roster, and still went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like,
but hold on, you're gonna compare old Wade and
look at the team. Look at the team. It is the same. You got old Carmelo. Russ is up there.
This reminds me more of that Laker team that played against Detroit in what was that, 04, 03, 04, when they got Peyton, Karl Malone, Kobe, Shaq, Rick Fox. That's what this team reminds me of. Something similar to that, an older team that they may get there, but I don't be surprised if they get beat in either in the playoffs or in the finals. Either way, that's how I look at it. From me being a Laker fan, thinking of back in the day of what happened. But that's my own beef. That's my own thing. So that's all I'm saying.
Hey, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll finish 4 in the West.
Oof. I don't know if 4 will be good enough for them.
The preseason, the only thing I didn't like, the Suns are like, they put them at like 7. I'm like, they just went to the finals. You put them at like 6 or 7 in the West. Like, come on. I know the West is stacked, but a little respect.
I'm gonna refrain from talking about the Suns. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, hold on. We can talk about it. Let's go ahead and get the rest of the show over with. We can talk about it offline. So, Chris, man, it's been an honor. It's been a blast. One final question before we really truly let you go. How can people keep up with your career and follow you and keep up with everything you got going on?
For next couple games, I wouldn't be watching the box scores, but yeah, I mean, I'm on any of your social media stuff, at Coach C Holm. I'm not gonna lie, that's one thing I do want to get better at is being consistent on my social media. I try to post as much as I can though, but yeah, you can follow me there. Anyone ever have any questions? Obviously, I'm always going to be a resource for anybody that's always looking for some kind of answer or help with anything. So don't hesitate to connect with me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so you heard it. Go ahead and give him a follow. And while you are at it, go ahead and follow us on Instagram at capturing_the_game_pod. On Twitter, it's CTG_podcast. On Facebook, it's just Capturing the Game Podcast. On YouTube, it's just Capturing the Game Podcast. And you can find us on any of our social media platforms. You can also find us on your favorite podcast platform, whatever you listen to, whether it be Spotify, Apple Apple Music, whatever the Apple product is called. So everyone knows I'm anti-Apple, but anyways, Google. So whatever your favorite podcast platform is, you can definitely find us on there. Chris, once again, thank you for being a part of the show. Your knowledge, your stories, even just talking basketball, talking about your career. I definitely appreciate you coming on and just talking about everything with us today.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. This was fun.